I've spent over $300,000 on watches in the past 15 years. And honestly, about half of that was a complete waste of money. So I'm making this video to share with you what I wish I knew before starting my collection. Today, I'm gonna walk you through exactly how I would build my collection from scratch if I had a clean slate. Not just what watches I'd buy, but in what order I'd buy them, what mistakes I'd avoid, and how I'd save thousands of dollars in the process. If I could go back and start my collection over with the knowledge I have now, I would do everything completely different. Let's start with the 5 biggest mistakes that cost me time, money, and a lot of frustration. The first step to building a better collection is understanding what not to do. Trust me, I've made every mistake in the book. Here are the 5 that hurt me the most. The first and maybe most expensive mistake I've made is buying watches for the wrong reasons. We're all influenced by what we see online, what's trending, and what other collectors are raving about. But here's the brutal truth. Their taste isn't your taste. Take this vintage Omega Seamaster chronometer. Beautiful watch, right? Gold cap case, classic 36.5mm size, caliber 564 movement. I bought this years back after seeing it all over Instagram. The final straw was when I saw Adrian from Bark and Jack with one. I just had to have it. I searched a week, found this one, and when it arrived, nothing. Completely underwhelmed. It's not that it's a bad watch, it's a fantastic piece with genuine horological significance, but it doesn't speak to me. I knew deep down that I had doubts, but I ignored them because everyone else loved these watches so much. No matter how many likes it gets on Instagram, no matter which YouTuber says it's essential, if it doesn't genuinely excite you, it's the wrong watch for you. The second mistake is ignoring practical considerations in favor of how much a watch looks in photos and videos. This is the Montblanc Heritage Automatic with a salmon dial. Online, this watch is absolutely stunning. The photos make it look like the perfect dress watch with that gorgeous dial. I was on a hunt for a salmon dial, and this looked like the perfect option. But the reality, this 40mm dress watch wears more like a 42 because of the case shape. It sits bulky on the wrist, and the salmon color in person is more bubblegum pink than the classic salmon tone I was after. The point here, I overlooked so many basic considerations, and important ones that I already knew. How it actually fits your wrist, how the colors look in natural light, how comfortable it is to wear all day. These practical considerations matter more than anything else. My third mistake was building a collection without any clear direction or purpose. Early in my collecting journey, I became obsessed with dive watches. I had multiple Seikos, then multiple Squallies, then multiple Zens. After a few years, I looked at my collection and I realized I had very little diversity. Just a sea of dive watches, many of which were practically identical except for minor color differences. Each watch should serve a different role or represent a different aspect of horology that interests you. Otherwise, you end up with 10 watches that all compete for the same wrist time. Mistake number 4, and this is a big one. It's prioritizing brand names over actual quality and personal satisfaction. When I bought my business partner out in 2021, I celebrated by purchasing a Rolex Submariner Bluesy. I had lusted after this watch for 5 or 6 years. It was my moment to commemorate fully owning my company. But after the initial excitement wore off, I realized this watch was a huge disappointment for me personally. Too flashy, wrong blue, loud bracelet. Nothing worked on it that I tried. It was a beautiful watch, but a beautiful miss. On the other hand, I have a Tudor Oyster Prince with an 18 karat gold bezel. It cost about 1/10 of what the Rolex did, but it fulfilled my two-tone desire so much better. The proportions are perfect, the gold has developed a beautiful patina, and it has historical significance to modern watchmaking. The lesson? Brand prestige doesn't automatically translate to personal enjoyment. Sometimes the less expensive, Less hyped watch is actually the one that brings real satisfaction. And finally, mistake number 5, the upgrade cycle trap. This is where you buy a watch as a temporary stand-in for the watch you really want, only to lose money when you eventually upgrade. I purchased a Girard-Perregaux Laureato to fulfill my desire for an AP Royal Oak. I told myself it was different enough to be its own watch, but deep down, I knew I was settling. I had it for 2 years, and then eventually I ended up buying that Royal Oak. But when I sold the Laureato, I lost about $4,000. This essentially negated the great deal that I had found on the Royal Oak. If I had saved that money over those 2 years instead of parking it in a placeholder watch, I would have probably been able to buy the Royal Oak not only cheaper, but most likely even sooner. So with these mistakes in mind, if I were starting over today, here's the strategy I would follow. First, I'd focus on 5 core principles: quality over quantity, versatility, distinct purpose, comfort and wearability, and finally, balance of passion and practicality. I'd limit my collection between 6 and 12 watches, depending on budget and interest level. Beyond 12 watches, and most just sit around, sometimes even years. Focus beats volume. In terms of budget, I'd follow what I call the save then splurge method. Instead of buying several cheaper watches each year, I'd save for one quality piece annually. For example, year 1, $4,000 for a Nomos Club Campus. Year 2, $6,000 for an Omega Aquaterra. Year 3, $2,000 for a Zen 104. The advantage here is that you build a focused collection of pieces you'll actually keep forever. The disadvantage is limiting versatility during the building process, but trust me, this approach saves money in the long run and results in a collection you'll be happier with. Now let's talk foundation pieces, the watches that would form the core of my collection if I were starting over. The most important watch in any collection is your everyday watch. My requirements: a versatile design that works with most outfits, water resistance of at least 100 meters, a durable case material, a legible dial, and comfort for all-day wear. At the budget level between, say, $200 and $500, I'd consider the Seiko 5 SRPD series, often called the 5KX. At around $250, you'll get an automatic movement that's versatile and reliable and avoids the mistakes of choosing something too delicate for daily wear. Another great option is the Tissot PRX Quartz at $375. It has that trendy 70s aesthetic with integrated bracelet, but with modern reliability. In the mid-range, say between $500 and $2,000 bracket, the Tissot PRX Powermatic 80 at $725 stands out as an elevated version of that Quartz model with an excellent 80-hour power reserve movement. The Longines Conquest at $1,200 offers the perfect balance of sporty and dressy elements. Many enthusiasts cite this as their first real Swiss watch, and for good reason. If your budget allows for luxury options, say over $2,000, the Omega Aquaterra at around $6,000 is exceptional. The 38mm case size, a 150-meter water resistance, and the Metis certified movement make it extremely versatile while being resistant to magnetic fields up to 15,000 Gauss. The Rolex Oyster Perpetual at around $7,000 is the quintessential everyday luxury watch. Now, is it worth the premium? Absolutely. For the rock-solid depreciation protection alone. This avoids the mistake of choosing something too flashy for everyday wear. Next, let's talk about weekend or casual watches, pieces with more character than your everyday watch. My requirements would be an expressive design compared to an everyday watch, robust construction for weekend activities, a distinct aesthetic that reflects personality, and comfort on multiple strap options. At the budget level, the G-Shock GA2100 Casio at around $110 offers a trendy octagonal design with legendary toughness. It's virtually indestructible. The Dan Henry 1970 at around $300 captures vintage charm without vintage fragility. A 40mm case and 200-meter water resistance, and a wonderful vintage diver aesthetic. In the mid-range, the Baltic Aquascape at $750 is perfect for someone who appreciates vintage aesthetics with its 39mm case and 200-meter water resistance. The fairer chronograph Sport at around $2,000 offers British design with vibrant colorways. It's a conversation starter that shows you've done your homework. For luxury options, the Tudor Black Bay 58 at around $4,000 provides the perfect size with modern reliability and vintage charm. And the Tag Heuer Monaco at around $6,500 has an unmistakable square design with serious racing heritage. It's distinctive without being impractical. These weekend choices complement rather than duplicate everyday watches by featuring more distinctive designs, bolder colors, and specialized functions. Now, let's discuss dress watches, an often overlooked but essential category. My requirements would be a slim case profile under 12 millimeters, a clean dial design, leather strap compatibility, elegant proportions, and subtle details that reward close inspection. At the budget level, the Orient Bambino at around $200 offers classic proportions with vintage appeal. The 40.5 millimeter case, domed crystal, and Roman numerals make it look far more expensive than it is. The Johans Maxbill Quartz at around $500 showcases timeless Bauhaus design principles. The 38 millimeter case and minimalist dial make it perfect for formal occasions. In the mid-range, the Hamilton Intramatic at around $900 provides perfect proportions with American heritage. The 38 millimeter case and sunburst dial are simply beautiful. The Nomos Club Campus at around $1,700 offers German craftsmanship with playful elements. Its 38.5 millimeter case and California dial make it a dress watch with personality. For luxury options, the Cartier Tank Must at around $3,100 provides an instantly recognizable rectangular design with Roman numerals. It's a watch that transcends trends. The Jaeger LeCoultre Master Control Date at about $8,000 is the watchmaker's watch, respected by all enthusiasts for its perfect proportions and incredible movement. I once went to a friend's black tie wedding wearing a sporty dive watch, and it stood out in the wrong way. Since then, I've always kept a proper dress watch in the collection, not to impress, but to respect the occasion. Next, let's talk about truly rugged adventure watches, pieces that can handle whatever you throw at them. My requirements would be minimum 200 meter water resistance, shock resistance, highly legible dial, durable case materials, and a reliable movement. At the budget level, the Casio G-Shock Square at around $150 is virtually indestructible with its water resistance and solar atomic features that eliminate the need for battery changes. The Citizen ProMaster Tough at about $350 has a monocoque case design that eliminates potential failure points, a true tool watch. In the mid-range, the Damasco DS30 at about $1,100 showcases German over-engineering with its 39mm ice-hardened steel case and 200-meter water resistance. The Zen 556 at about $1,600 is an understated tool watch with proven reliability. 38.5mm case, 200-meter water resistance, and anti-magnetic properties. For luxury options, the Tudor Pelagos at $5,000 is a professional dive watch with titanium construction and 500 meters water resistance. The Zen U50 SDR at about $3,200 features submarine steel. It's a proprietary tegmented hardened steel, and it has over 500 meter water resistance. I once took my Zen U1 for a long weekend in the Smoky Mountains, camping, working on my Jeep, hiking trails, and mountain biking. When I returned, it had a few new battle scars and character marks, but it was ticking away perfectly. That experience confirmed something important for me. Adventure watches aren't just marketing gimmicks. They're purpose-built tools designed to handle real-world conditions. Finally, let's talk about what I call the heart watch, the one piece you choose purely out of emotion. While most watches should serve a practical purpose, I think every collection needs one that's just for the love of it. For me, that would be the Patek Philippe Perpetual Calendar, the 5970G. It has perfect proportions, case design, and dial layout, with beautiful spacing, legibility, and typeface. It captures the vintage Patek charm with a gorgeous movement that combines vintage character with modern precision. The Perpetual Calendar is my favorite complication. It's both functional and the ultimate format for telling time. The engineering and craftsmanship required to track a full calendar is astounding, deeply attractive to me, and nothing short of mechanical poetry. To identify what truly speaks to you versus momentary infatuation, ask yourself, would I still want this watch if no one else ever saw it? Does it fascinate me regardless of its status or recognition? These questions help avoid the mistake of buying for the wrong reasons we discussed earlier. If you're rebuilding your collection or starting fresh, the order in which you acquire watches matters significantly. Here's exactly how I would do it step by step. Keep it focused. Set hard limits for yourself, both in terms of quantity and budget. One thoughtful purchase annually saves money and helps you avoid impulse buys that end up collecting dust. Start with a daily watch. Your first piece should be versatile enough to cover 90% of your lifestyle. Reliable, comfortable, and not too flashy. Add a rugged adventure watch. Second, get something that can take a beating. This is your travel companion, hiking buddy, and weekend warrior. Then add a proper dress watch. For formal occasions, a thin, classic, understated piece goes a long way. Don't be the guy wearing a dive watch to a black tie wedding. Guilty. Avoid major mistakes. Before you go chasing grails or specialty pieces, make sure you're not falling into the trap I covered earlier. Add personality pieces last. Once your core is solid, you've earned the freedom to pick up a quirky chronograph, a colorful dial, or a heart watch that's purely for the passion. Invest in maintenance early. Set aside some budget for a good watch box, cleaning tools, and servicing. These things keep your collection running and looking great for the long haul. If I were starting my collection over today with the knowledge I now have, here's what my ideal collection would look like. It would be 6 watches to leave a little room for growth, of course, but not much. 12 is a hard stop limit. And I know this is more than most would be willing to spend, but I'd have a total budget of around $170,000. With that said, my collection would look like this: an Omega Aquaterra for every day, an H. Moser & C Streamliner for weekends, a JLC Duo Reverso for dress occasions, a Zen U1 SE for adventures, a Vacheron 2215 as my vintage watch, and a Patek Nautilus as my heart watch. Compare this to what I've actually spent, over $300,000 with numerous purchases and sales along the way, and the difference is pretty staggering. By being intentional from the start, you can build an incredible collection for a fraction of what most enthusiasts end up spending. And if you were to ask me today, Jason, what if I could only have one watch? What would it be? With just one watch, I'd go with the Omega Aquaterra. It's versatile enough to be your only watch while being special enough to appreciate every day. But that's my choice. Yours might be completely different. So what are the key takeaways from all of this? First, buy what excites you, not what's trending. Second, think comfort and fit, not just looks. Third, aim for variety with purpose. Fourth, focus on quality over brand names. And fifth, be patient. The right watch once beats the wrong one twice. I genuinely hope this helps you avoid some of the expensive mistakes that I've made. Watch collecting should be enjoyable, not stressful or financially damaging. I'd love to hear about your collector mistakes and lessons in the comments below. What watch would you start with if you were building your collection from scratch? Drop a comment. Let's keep the conversation going. Before we wrap up, we want to give a huge thank you to our Patreon community. You're the real MVPs of the Watch Bros. Your support keeps this channel ticking, and we couldn't do it without you. If you're not part of the club yet, consider joining, since you'll get monthly giveaways just for our Patreon members, exclusive videos, and many more insane benefits. We're basically giving you so much value for as little as $2 a month. So if you want to join the club and get in on the action, head over to our Patreon. If you found this helpful, please hit the like button and consider subscribing for more watch content. Thanks for watching, and until next time, wear your watches in good health.